Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here, co-writer, co-producer, and co-director of It's Me, Billy. Now, this is a bit of an addendum video to the video that I uploaded just a couple of days ago, titled Some Things You Missed, Some Things Explained. Now, like that video, this is not a in-depth director's commentary. My co-writer, co-producer, and co-director, Bruce Dale, and I will be doing a in-depth director's commentary on the movie, which will wind up on the Blu-ray and eventually on YouTube, where we talk about, the nitty-gritty details of the production and the scenes and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to do a follow-up video to the video that I uploaded previously because these videos are kind of fun to do. I just give you kind of tidbits of information in a relatively short period of time that will hopefully give you some better insight into what was going on and help you appreciate the movie even more. So as mentioned in the previous video, the opening of the movie is really cool, and there are two things going on there. And if you want to know what they are, go and watch that video to check it out. But another thing that's happening here that some people have missed, and it's completely understandable why some people would miss it. We were very nuanced with this, intentionally so. But this is actually Sam's car, although Justine is in the driver's seat. When Sam turns to Justine and says, "Thanks for driving, sure you don't mind," and Justine says, "Of course not," it's because Sam is too emotional to drive. She's just been denied access to the sorority house, and she's feeling all sorts of emotions, and she just doesn't want to drive. So she's thanking her friend for driving her car for her. And then, of course, when they get to grandmother's house and they are about to enter, Justine passes Sam her purse with the keys. So later in the movie, when Sam enters her bedroom searching for her cell phone, tossing up her pillow, moving the sheets aside, she is dumping her purse in actuality to look for her car keys. Now, again, it is understandable how that may have gone over some people's heads. We were very nuanced with it and not in your face, but that is what's going on there. And I realized in the previous video, with the way that I was explaining things, because I was so focused on the cell phone aspect of my point, I did make it seem like she was also dumping her purse in search for her cell phone. I apologize for that. That is actually not what's going on there. Now, this is no doubt one of my favorite shots in the entire movie. The camera is actually attached to a jib, and the camera is actually moving across the table towards Victoria. This is not a digital zoom. This is actually the camera moving across the table. This was a shot very early on in pre-production that, really in development, that myself and Bruce talked about, that we absolutely loved, that we wanted to get, and we think we nailed it. Now, it did take a few takes because obviously you're hoping for the best performance along with the best technical aspects of the take as well. And I believe it was the last take, if I'm not mistaken, that we felt was the home run, which of course is the one that wound up in the movie. Now, you can hear this all throughout the entire film, but we do pay homage to the piano scrapes and the piano sounds from the original movie, but at no point does any of the audio from that film, from the original Black Christmas, appear in our film. It is all new stuff, new creations to bring it into the 21st century, but to pay homage to the original film at the same time, to give the essence of the original Black Christmas, but for modern times. Now, the movie the girls are watching on the couch is not a real movie. There are some people that have said, "Hey, is that Texas Chainsaw Massacre?" And I think it's really cool if people think that. And sure, why not? I mean, who's to say that it isn't, right? But no, it is a fake movie. It is not supposed to be a real movie at all, and it isn't. Well, obviously, it's supposed to be a real movie, but it's not a real movie. All the sound design was created in post-production. But I decided to use a chainsaw and a girl screaming to tip to the audience that obviously, clearly they are watching a horror movie. A chainsaw and a girl screaming is sort of the quintessential, sounds of a horror movie. So that is why I chose that. So it's not a real movie. It's not actual dialogue or sound effects from any horror movie. It was all created in post-production during the sound design process. But if you want to think of it as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, knock yourselves out. Maybe they were watching it. So this is really cool. This is one of my favorite shots in the movie. Shout out to our DP, Greg Bennett, and our, just entire crew for capturing this beautiful shot of Victoria Miro as Sam. This is cool because this is reminiscent of the original Black Christmas, as Billy is on the phone doing his crazy talk, and Sam is just listening very intently. We are slowly zooming in on Sam's face, very reminiscent of this shot here, as they zoomed in on Olivia Hussey's face. And believe it or not, the the length of time that it takes us to zoom in on Sam is the exact same length of time that it took for the crew in 1974 to zoom in on Olivia Hussey. Now, in this scene, of course, which was our introduction to the physical presence of Billy, at the very end of this scene, after his temper tantrum, he sits back down in his rocking chair and begins to sing I believe the actual name of the lullaby is Bye Baby Bunting, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, that's what he sang in the original film. But instead of saying to wrap Baby Bunting in, he says to wrap Baby Agnes in. Just like in the original film, he says it here as well. So again, another nod to the original and to show that Billy, although he may sound a bit different, look a little different because he's a lot older, he's still same old Billy. Now, the Christmas lights that you see on the Christmas tree and in the hallway leading up to the attic and through the attic and, of course, wrapped around Justine's dead body are actually the old school incandescent bulbs. The same bulbs that if you're my age, if you're over 40, that your parents probably had in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s on the Christmas tree and hanging from the roof outside. These are not LED bulbs. These are not the new kind of bulbs that you would probably get in your local Walmart today. So these had to be specialty ordered. And the reason why we chose these, obviously, is because these are the same kind of bulbs that would have been in the original Black Christmas. And they just give off a glow and a light and a shine that just modern day LED bulbs just don't. There's a richness to these bulbs that is just so pleasing to the eyes. And the other reason is because modern day bulbs, LED bulbs, things like that, tend to flicker on camera, whereas these old school bulbs don't. And of course, that was vitally important for our film and our production. So those are the two reasons. But the main reason really is because of the old school look and the aesthetic is just something that is very, very 70s, 80s, and very Black Christmas. So yeah, these are the old school incandescent Christmas tree bulbs. Anyways, folks, my name's Dave McRae, and that was part 2 of Some Things You Missed, Some Things Explained. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Did I touch on anything that you were like, oh, I didn't catch that, or I didn't know that? I would love to know. If you want to follow me on social media, all my links are below. Check them out until your heart's content, and when your heart is content, check them out again. Alrighty, I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.